This video describes how to configure SSL VPN on the USG6000F series firewalls to enable remote office users to access enterprise internal resources. The following describes how to configure SSL VPN based on a specific networking. The enterprise intranet is connected to the internet through a firewall. The intranet server resides on the network segment 101.1.0.24. SSL VPN needs to be deployed on the firewall to enable remote office users to securely access the intranet server through SSL VPN. To further enhance security, local authentication is used to authenticate users and the network extension service is enabled. The figure shows the process of configuring SSL VPN on the USG6000F. First, log in to the web system of the device. Second, configure device interfaces. Choose Network Interface, click GE001, and set Public Network Interface Parameters. Select Untrust for the security zone. Set IP address to 111.124, which is the IP address of the public network interface. Click GE006 and set Private Network Interface Parameters. Select Trust for the security zone. Set IP address to 101.1.124, which is the IP address of the private network interface. Third, configure users and an IP address pool. Local authentication based on username and password is used as an example. If a third-party authentication server is used, you need to configure the authentication server on the device first. Choose Object, User, User Management. On the UCL Group tab page of Local User Management, click Add to configure a UCL group named SSL VPN. On the Access User tab page of Local User Management, click Add to configure a user named User. Then enter and confirm your password. Repeat these steps to create other SSL VPN users and add them to the created UCL group. Choose Object IP Address Pool and click Add to configure an address pool named add_pool. Fourth, configure SSL VPN. Choose Network, SSL VPN, and click Add. Choose Gateway Configuration. Set gateway name to SSL VPN. When setting gateway IP address, select GE001. Retain the default port number 443. Set the public key algorithm to RSA. When doing so, you need to configure the local certificate of the virtual gateway. Here, the default certificate automatically generated by the system is used. When setting the public key algorithm to SM2, you need to configure the signature certificate and encryption certificate of the virtual gateway. Select User plus Password for authentication mode. If remote office users access the intranet server using domain names, configure the DNS server as the intranet server. If users only use IP addresses to access the intranet server, you do not need to configure the DNS server. Maximum concurrent users indicates the maximum number of concurrent users allowed by the virtual gateway. Set this parameter based on service requirements. Click Add Security Policy. Configure a security policy from the internet to the firewall to allow remote office users to access the SSL VPN gateway. Set the source security zone to Untrust. Destination security zone to Local. Destination address to 111.1 address of the public network interface and action to permit. Under Network Extension, select the address pool add_pool and select Adaptive Routing Mode for Isolation Mode. In the Network Extension Resource Configuration list, click Add and configure a resource named SSL VPN by entering the IP address and mask. Under Role Authorization, click Add in the list of authorized roles. Create a role named SSL VPN and associate it with the SSL VPN UCL group. Select SSL VPN in the Resource Authorization list. Click Add Security Policy. Configure a security policy from the firewall to the intranet to allow remote office users to access headquarter resources. Set the source security zone to untrust. Destination security zone to trust. Source address to an address in the network extension address pool. Destination address to an intranet address. Accessible to remote office users, and action to permit. Fifth, log in to the SSL VPN gateway. Download the client software installation package. The administrator uploads the client software. The user can directly access the SSL VPN gateway address to download the software uploaded by the administrator. Start the client software, click New Connection, select SSL VPN, and enter the connection name and SSL VPN gateway address. Select the created SSL VPN connection and click Connect. The login page is displayed. Enter the username and the password to log in. A message is displayed in the lower right corner, asking you to change the password. User login succeeds.